Hi, I'm Becky Streepy from Glue and Glitter, and today we're making drop biscuits. You don't need any butter at all to make these vegan drop biscuits. Instead, you're using olive oil. They are super delicious. They've got vegan cheddar cheese in the mix and rosemary, and I will talk to you a little bit about flavor variations in case that's not your jam. These are delicious served warm straight out of the oven or at room temperature. I love to dip them in a soup or a stew to turn that hearty bowl into a full meal. If you've never made drop biscuits before, prepare to be delighted. There is no rising, there is no kneading, there is no cutting required to make these. Mixing up the batter is truly as easy as making muffins. Just throw in your dry ingredients, throw in your wet ingredients, mix it all together, and then scoop the dough up and drop it onto the cookie sheet. That scoop and drop is why they're called drop biscuits. If rosemary and cheddar aren't your thing, that's totally fine. There are all kinds of fun ways you can mix up this recipe. You can even make these plain. Just omit the cheese and the rosemary. You can leave or omit the garlic powder, and they're just as lovely that way. For an Italian style variation on this, use vegan mozzarella instead of cheddar shreds and add a tablespoon of Italian seasoning to the batter. If you want to make these into super garlicky biscuits, you can omit the cheese, rosemary, and garlic powder and instead add 2 to 4 cloves of minced garlic to the dough. Super delicious. Kind of like a garlic bread, they're great alongside of like a big bowl of pasta. Whatever variations you choose, the method is pretty much the same. So I'm gonna walk you through how to make these with the cheddar and rosemary, and just know that you can do whatever variations suit your tastes. Let's cook. So grab yourself a large mixing bowl and add 2 cups of white wheat flour. You can substitute all-purpose flour for the white wheat if you can't find it. White wheat is just a different kind of whole wheat. It's a little bit lighter in flavor. It's also not as absorbent as whole wheat flour. That's why you can substitute it one-to-one with all-purpose if you don't have white wheat. I would not use whole wheat flour in place of white wheat. If you do want to use some whole wheat flour, you can substitute up to 1 cup's worth, but I wouldn't do the whole 2 cups. Next, add 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 3/4 teaspoons of baking soda, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Then add 3 tablespoons of chopped fresh rosemary. Now when it comes to using fresh rosemary, getting all of those leaves off the stem can seem like it's gonna take forever, so I wanted to show you my super quick and easy way to de-stem your rosemary leaves. Instead of pulling the leaves off one at a time, just grab your stem and then slide your finger down the stem against the grain of the leaves, and they will just pull right off of the stem. It's like magic. Now that you've got all of your dry ingredients in the bowl, mix those together just until they're evenly combined. And now it's time to add your wet ingredients right to the same bowl. Add 1.5 cups of vegan cheddar shreds, 1 cup of soy milk that's mixed with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This is basically vegan buttermilk, and that little bit of vinegar is so important. The acidity from the vinegar is going to react with the baking soda in the dry ingredients and help give your biscuits some lift and help them be a little bit more fluffy so they won't be too dense. Next, add 1/3 cup of olive oil and mix everything together until you have a sticky dough. You're not going to end up with a cohesive ball of dough here, and you're definitely not going to end up with something that you're going to need to knead with your hands. This dough should be mixable with a fork or spoon, and it's going to be quite sticky, so don't worry if it seems sticky to you. That means you're doing it right. Now grab yourself an ice cream scoop or a 1/4 cup measure and scoop up dollops of the dough until you have 12 biscuits, and just arrange those all on a single baking sheet. You want to leave a little bit of space in between these, but they're not going to spread very much during baking, so like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of space in between is fine. Bake these at 450 for 12 to 15 minutes, and then you're ready to eat. You know your biscuits are ready when they are firm to the touch and golden brown. I hope that this video has answered all of your questions about how to make vegan drop biscuits. If you have any questions that I didn't address, feel free to drop a comment. I'm always happy to help. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. Happy cooking!